Ooh, baby. Have I got something exciting today? Been wanting to get this back for a while. But first... You know, here I am making some coffee and I got some visitors. Let's see if you guys can see that. Okay, here we go. This is a backup camera with a dash cam as well. And the mirror is the screen. All right, so this is not my first backup camera slash dash cam. The one that I had before is out of warranty. Strangely enough, after I took my van to the car wash, the backup camera doesn't work anymore. So I got myself a new mirror-like camera. Even the packaging is pretty good, and professional, so let's find out. I also wanted to just put it out there. This is not sponsored by this brand by any means. I bought it myself. I have no connection with them. I bought it off Amazon, and because of that, I will link it in the description below if you're interested to get it. So this van's turning radius is really bad. Having a backup camera to be able to parallel park on the street is pretty important because sometimes I have to get into really tight spots. Also, having a dash cam is really important because on the freeway I am a bigger vehicle, so people zoom in front of me pretty often, and if something were to happen, I have it on video, so it protects me a little bit. Look at the packaging. It's kind of a rule of thumb in my opinion. If the packaging is high quality, the product is usually high quality, which I'm pretty excited about. Wow. Super fancy. This is the mirror. And this is a lot bigger than the other mirror that I have. And that's the back camera. Let's take that off really quick. There you are. It's supposed to be high quality video, and also the screen is supposed to be high quality. This one also came with a micro SD card, which the other one didn't. I had to buy that separately. You know, I hate it when they do that, but this is definitely much nicer, and it looks like it has two mics, one here, one here. Because I think this also has a GPS. Look at that. Is it focusing? That's pretty cool. And this is the backup camera here. That's the power adapter, which has USB-C. That's crazy. So this is definitely high quality. Okay, all mirrors off. I couldn't do it with one hand to show you guys, but that's my regular mirror here. Took that off. It's important to know that the mirror still works, like the computer thing still works, so I may use that for something else. You see, because of the camera that it has back here, it still doesn't clear the whole mirror, but it clears it a lot better. I would have wished that it did clear, but still, nevertheless, it's pretty good. First, this is the power cable, which I'm gonna definitely reroute. I wanna see what I did here. Did it go underneath here? I don't remember what I did, but I'm pretty sure I didn't take this off. I just need to figure out how I put this wire in there. I'm just gonna try to do a quick test run just to make sure it turns on, everything works. So I have my cigarette lighter here. I'm just gonna plug it in. Straight in here. And I have the backup camera here. That seems to be working just fine. And it's also recording. Something that I want to mention before I forget to mention, I did plug the camera in the car's cigarette lighter, basically the car battery, but I'm actually going to reroute this around so it goes to my house battery, because the first time I installed my first camera, I left it plugged into the car battery and it killed my battery in one night, because it does have these motion sensors. If the car moves and all that stuff, and it keeps on turning on. And besides, it's always recording, so it's always taking a little bit of power. So that's the one fault for these cameras. If you get it just for a regular car, it might kill your car battery. Get a secondary battery so it's always on and it's always recording, which is the beauty about these cameras. This is the front passenger seat. The wire from the camera comes back here, if you can see that. And it's wired to a 12 volt, but it's a 12 volt that goes straight to the house battery. So I'm gonna have to take this off. These clamps are kind of broken because I took it off way too many times. Here we go. Now I can figure out where this wire is going. I think it goes straight through here. Yep, there we go. Through the seal. Perfect, perfect. So it's a lot easier than I thought. Let me just make sure I look at this correctly. All right, one old wire out, and hopefully I don't have too much trouble to put this wire in. It was a bit difficult. I kind of moved this microphone a bit, but I think it should be fine. This is just a microphone for my radio, so I can talk to it. Let's see if I can go back in there. Next, I just need to tuck this in the headliner here. Just want to make it look as clean as possible. Let's put this liner back. All set up. I just had to put the camera down because it was a little difficult to be able to mount this with one hand and also keep the wire in there. And it basically comes down here where there's all these other wires that come. It's underneath the step well, and then back here, if you can see it, right there, that's a 12 volt plug. However, that's plugged into the house battery. The light is on, which means we have power. The mirror is on. All right. Most of these clips are pretty much broken, but it still holds in place. All right, so now that I'm done with the first thing, which was pretty easy, self-explanatory, I'm gonna tackle the rear camera. To take the old one off, which is kind of a pain because I think this screw's kind of shot. This one's okay. Ooh, baby, I'm in luck. It still grips. I just have to push really hard on the screw, but it's coming off. Moment of truth. Will this new camera fit in the same holes that I had for the old one? That would be very ideal and very easy, because otherwise I have to adjust it and drill new holes. Let it focus, Stefan. And there we go, guys. It actually does fit. That's very good news, because it's gonna make my life so much easier, so much easier. I think I lucked out with it, but either way, it's gonna work. What's cool about both of these cameras, this wire I cut off already because I was trying to fix it. Anyway, they come with this cool plug in here, so you don't have to worry about fitting this end through a very small hole. Just have this plug it in through the hole up there, and just worry about putting this wire around to the front there. So I just realized the wire that came in from the old camera, it's the same plug as the wire in the new camera. So technically, if I plug them in together, then I don't have to run the wire again. I will, however, open up the back light just to kind of show you how that's hooked up in there. But moment of truth, I'm looking at the front mirror and I'm gonna plug this in, and the mirror should be coming on. Well, will you look at that? See the mirror right there? I'm moving the camera right now. I'm showing. Definitely lucked out with this one. I mean, I do have the extra wire if I ever need it, but since the wire is already in place, I really lucked out with this model. I don't I can't believe how lucky I am. The manufacturer does say to use the original equipment, but if it works, it works. If at any point it stops working, that's the first thing I'm gonna probably start to look at. But for now, rather than rewire the whole thing, that's a pretty easy process. I do the same thing. I go under both the front passenger step well and then the middle doors step well as well, and then just put it through the back, and then goes through here, where this is also a wire for the back light for the license plate. So I just route it through there, and then what I'm gonna do is basically route this wire through here, through the water seal, and then goes in there. And then, like I promised, I will show you which wire this is hooked up to. So when I hit the car in reverse, it actually sends power to the rear camera, and it knows to show the reverse camera. All right, what I've done here, I actually put a bit of electrical tape just to kind of seal off that hole. The rear camera installed, and now all I have to do is pull these wires under the rain seal of the door and connect it with this other wire, and I think that should be it. And then I'll show you which wire connects to the rear light. One small test here before I finish up is I want to see what this rear camera sees, which is great. It's basically the bumper, and I know there's a way to flip it around. So right now this is, I'm not sure if you can see this, but this is the back of the vehicle. So I think there's a way to flip the camera or like the software around, where this would be the back of the bumper, which is what I want to know when I back up. The mount for this camera is a bit smaller, which is a lot more flush to the van. Let me show you what I mean. So basically this part right here is a lot shorter than the other one. So basically the other camera would stick out a little more, which enabled it to kind of see past these windows and see where the bumper is. Now there might be some software tweaking that I can do. Now, as promised, show you really quick where that wire is. So basically it's pretty easy. Ford uses these specialty keys, which I happen to have. Let's see if it focuses. There we go. And it's just 4 screws, and then this comes off and it'll show you the wires, and I'll show you that in a second. This is what they look like. And let's see if I can find the right size. One thing to keep in mind, the screws are different sizes. As you can see, in my case here, the bottom one is longer than the top one, but I'll just place them on the bed there in the order I take them out. I don't remember how this looks inside, but I do remember it's quite easy. The light comes off just like this. So you see this red wire that comes from the place where I showed you. So this goes to this purple wire. Basically what I've done is just cut a bit of the plastic around it and then hook this up to it, and it works. And let's find out, before I even take this off, it should be working when I hit it in reverse. Oh, there we go, we got a different angle. I'm gonna put this back together again. I strictly took it off just to kind of show you guys, since I didn't show you how I ran the other wires, but those are super easy. I just got lucky. And while we're here, this is pretty easy to change light bulbs. So it's not like the LED stuff, which you have to replace the whole thing and it's really expensive. These are super cheap, and that's a nice cheap way of the old days where how they used to make cars. I'm not saying they're better than LEDs, but on the price point, these are much cheaper to fix. Now that I have everything installed, pretty much, it's time to read the manual, because, you know, that's how us men get stuff done. I do want to read the manual because I want to see if I can turn that camera around in the back. All right, so I read the manual. I was able to reverse the camera, and let me show you. Let me start up the car really quickly. What's cool about this right now, because it has that, shut up. What's cool about this is that it has a GPS right over there. So that's pretty nice. And now it actually turned off the camera and you can only see the clock. And this normally acts like a mirror as well if I wanted to point it backwards. I have to start up the car to be able to put it in reverse, obviously. And when I put it in reverse, then I get the rear view lines and all that stuff. As you can see down here is the back of the van. I'm pretty happy with the install today. It was pretty easy for me. I'm gonna let you know in the upcoming months if anything goes wrong with it. This camera has 1 year warranty, which is okay, I guess. The other camera broke after 2 years, so it was out of warranty. But this does look higher quality, so we'll see how it ends up. Check out this video up here if you want to see more van life related content. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you in the next one.